Hello there. Welcome to Story Time with Frankie. My name's Lowell Tillman, and glad you could join me. What is Frankie? He's a character I developed when I was teaching school. Years ago, I would take expo markers and write the stories out on the front boards as I told them, and Frankie was the most popular. Soon after leaving school, I developed my first children's novel that I illustrated and wrote. And it's about a Frankie the Fire Hydrant that always wanted to put out a fire. He was bullied on by the local dogs of the neighborhood, so you could say its theme is anti-bullying. The second book that came out in the series was Frankie Goes to School. It's a little bit higher reading level and some of the difficulties of going to school, and mostly with discrimination. The next book is Frankie Goes to Mars. It's centered around adventure and consequences might be its theme. It's a much higher reading level, and as you can see. The next book that's about to come out, soon to be released, is Frankie Goes to India. It's an adventure story and probably is the highest reading level of anything that I've done so far. And it centers around Frankie trying to save his grandfather that has turned blue. Apparently, if a fire hydrant goes long enough without water, he will turn blue. To turn him back to his original color, he needs glacier water, of course. So he goes to India, enlists the help of a snowmobile driving polar bear, and they encounter a kleptomaniac raccoon and have to get the water back. So it's an adventure story. The next thing that I have that's currently available is Snuffles and the Tweedle. It's a story that basically deals with fear and an homage to my grandfather. Years ago when we were kids, he would have us go into the front yard and try to scream down the mud mounds of what we called around here as crawfish, and we would scream, "Tweedlebug, Tweedlebug, your house is burning down." And I often wonder what my grandfather would think when he looked out there in the yard and saw us children screaming at the dirt. And so here's this in this story where they deal with that very thing. And so the whole story is centered around that and what is down there, and so it deals with fear. The next things that are coming up are that I'd like to deal with on this channel would be the next book that's available is Frankie Meets Frankie. It's an homage to the old school days of Abbott and Costello meeting Frankenstein or the werewolf. Some of these viewers may not know who Abbott and Costello is, but it's a comedic routine people that had funny encounters with those monsters. What the story was going to be is Frankie's going to be employed at a haunted house and what might encounter there. The next story that's into development is The Lonesome Teddy. It's about a bear that's on a bench that's left behind by its owner. His story is going to be a theme of hope as different animals sit on the park bench and do their best to convince him that he's wasting his time, but yet he endures and holds out. You'll have to read the story. What's going to be a little different about The Lonesome Teddy is it's going to start out with black and white, and slowly during the story it's going to evolve into color. The other thing that I want to do on this channel is the development of these characters, what software I use, the steps to do them, the steps to put them into book format, and then the steps for publishing. All of them will be subsequent videos here. Also, I want to note behind me is View Out Frankie's Window. That is a sleep file that will help you go to sleep at night. If you're like me, you have to have the sound of like fans or something. That's a snowstorm, well, storm for this area. So that helps you go to sleep. My Amazon page, amazon.com/author/Lowell. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell for my channel here. And thank you for visiting STWF, Story Time with Frankie.